This week in Inverclyde history saw the 80th anniversary of the end of the war with Japan, celebrated on the 15th of August. There were two groups of Inverclyde people directly affected by the war in the Far East. Firstly, those civilians who were working in Hong Kong, Shanghai and other places in the Far East. There were many local connections with places like the Taikoo dockyard or the sugar refinery, and they were built by Grenocians, and quite a few of the staff were from the town. When the Japanese invaded, many were trapped here. They were captured and held in camps for the duration of the war, and I have noted a few of these locals here through newspaper cuttings. As you can see here, there's a group of men identified from Greenock and Gourock, and also internees at the end of the war returning home from Manila to Gourock Pier. These are a few of the stories of the people who were working in the Far Eastern, especially in Hong Kong, and they're all available in the book Inverclyde in World War II, a resource. I've placed a few of them here just for some of the details, and this is the names of many who were in Shanghai and Hong Kong. These were the Hyde brothers who were held in Hong Kong with their parents or with their mother. And this is the home which you now see on the Esplanade, called Yangtze Poo, which is the home of W.S. Burns, or the Burns family, who was a manager of the Shanghai Dockyard Company. The next group are those combatants who were sent east to fight in Malaya and elsewhere. They were casualties both in fighting as well as a consequence of the conditions and treatment in the POW camps. The main group that are connected locally were the 2nd Argyll and Southern Highlanders, but there were others who were fighting in the air and were captured. Basically, the British underestimated the Japanese, and as a result, it was a bit of a disaster. The newspapers were full of adverts for people who were missing fighting in Malaya. Again, in the book Inverclyde, a resource of World War II, there are details of the men who lost their lives. This is James Devine, who volunteered to go and fight as an ordinary soldier, and he was captured in Hong Kong and died as a result. His story is quite touching. Again, details can be read in the book. This is Alex Walker, who was killed in Malaya. His sister spent more or less the rest of her life looking to see where he was actually killed, and to commemorate the 2nd Argylls. There's a memorial stone at Finlayson to honour those soldiers who fought and were killed in Malaya. The idea, or the role of the Japanese and their treatment of the prisoners of war is a complicated one, and is sort of based on their belief system of surrender was not the best thing to do. So they tended to treat those who surrendered with contempt, and unfortunately this had a great effect on the British who were prisoners of war. There are a few stories here of quite a few of poor Inverclyde soldiers who were captured and the way they were treated. Again, just highlighting a few. There's quite a few cases of near the end of the war when the Japanese started to transport the prisoners back to Japan. and unfortunately quite a few of the ships transporting them back were destroyed or attacked by the Americans. So a lot of prisoners of war were captured or were killed as a result of American attacks on these convoys. Again, this is just a brief highlight to show that we are commemorating and remembering the role of local people who fought, were held captive and died in Japanese prisoners of war camp. If you want to read more, please see the website, and thank you for listening.